Hi, Alexis. Hi, David. I'm Christopher Gallardo with Pop Alternative. How are you both doing today?
Good. How
Doing
about
well, doing well.
you?
Thanks for being here.
No problem. I watched this series, found it, absolutely enjoyed it, and I gotta say, it's been fun. But we are officially in the end game this week in terms of the Japanese release and just in general as well. So looking back on this series and Stampede as well, what do you guys think has been like the most intimidating part of this experience that you were able to overcome?
Ooh.
Most intimidating, huh?
I think for me it was just the entrance of Millie.
Right.
Just because I knew that a lot of people were excited about seeing her in Stargaze. And she seems to, yeah, just the anticipation. And when you step into a role that you know has anticipation like that associated with it, it can be a little intimidating because you want to make sure you're doing right by the viewers and the fans. And so yeah, that. But then as the show progressed, you step into it, you go with it, you fall in love with the character, which is exactly what happened with me. I adore Millie, and yeah, and I've gotten good feedback, so hopefully that means something good.
Yeah, I think for me, it's very similar. I mean, this goes back to the first season, but for me, it was a very similar experience of wanting to make sure I can live up to what this property is and the story that it is. And then for the second season, there's a pressure of how can I make sure I recapture that or you know make sure that I'm still doing that along his journey where we find him now and all of that. So there's a pressure, but it's also like an excitement at the same time. Like I don't know if we'd be doing it if there wasn't also this excitement.
Right.
Even if there is the pressure. So that's been it's been amazing to come back to it and keep telling the story.
I absolutely love that. But I know in that intimidation factor, like you guys brought it all in like those intense moments in the series as well. So for both of your characters, if you were to pick an episode that brings out like the best in each of them, which episode would it be and why?
Oh man, I honestly think Millie's entrance in episode one. I mean, we see like her joy and her optimism and her playfulness, but we also see that she's a very capable fighter, and she and that she and Meryl are an amazing team, both in journalism and in battle. And they take out some thugs and episode one, and so it's just this wonderful like, okay, here's what you can expect out of this character, and it shows us all the different levels of what makes her amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it would probably be, I think it's episode 8. It's the goodbye old friend episode or whatever it is. That was just such a pleasure to do, and there were so many levels that you learn about Wolfwood in that, whether it's his relationship to the kids at the orphanage, to the character of Aunt Melanie, to Livio, to Vash. I mean, Vash is kind of that dynamic is driving a lot of it and really complements how he feels about the orphanage. And so all of those levels were just challenging and amazing, and it gave me so much, and I feel like it moves the character forward in such a huge way that yeah, I'd go with that.
I definitely saw that in that episode. And speaking about Millie and Wolfwood together, do you guys think Wolfwood views Millie as a symbol of the childhood innocence that he was robbed of? And does protecting her represent his attempt to redeem his failure to protect his brothers at that orphanage?
Oh, this is getting deep.
Oh,
I love it.
I mean, that kind of an idea is something we can only sort of talk about with a bird's eye view, like after we've done that work in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we definitely don't. That's not something I think about necessarily when I'm doing it in those moments. I do think, though, you bring up a good point that there's something about like the optimism, the joy, all the things that like are just so a part of her that your voice is just seamlessly does. It's like yeah, I think that there's some type of he gravitates towards that because of what that is. Even if, Wolfwood in that moment, and again, this is just me, spitballing as to what that might be. But yeah, I think he may not know that in the moment. You can only just do what's there in front of you. But it's interesting. I love that question because it gives me an insight into what a viewer might think.
Well, I think it's such a positive reflection on this title itself, like, these characters and these relationships, is that there's so much room to ask questions like that.
Right.
And that, the answer could be yes, the answer could be no. We don't know for sure. But the fact that there's so many colors and so much depth to these dynamics and these relationships, it gives us room to wonder things like that, which is incredible. I mean, even just being able to ask that question is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a testament to the story that comes up. And it's almost like the fact that it does come up for people, whatever it is, people put what they need and things onto a story. And when you've got a universal story that's got universal themes and of humanity, it's all in there,
Yeah.
Speaking about like those thematic connections as well, for you, David, as you were recording Stargaze, do you believe that Wolfwood's loyalty to Vash is a sign that he has finally found a soul worth saving, or was he simply using Vash's light to drown out his own sort of self-loathing?
I mean, you never really know. I mean, these kind of things are what I love about art in general. The sitting around a table. I remember when I first found acting and the craft of it and what it was, one of the things I was drawn to was sitting around a table with colleagues, reading a play and getting to talk about it. And the fact that the story was so strong that it collectively impacts our common humanity or whatever, and we all have these kind of questions. At the end of the day, I don't know for sure, and I don't think we ever land on one or the other, but I do know what I see him doing in the story. And the story is that he, looked for him for 2 years, that he, and it wasn't because of some mission or a job. It was after that, and so there's something in that. The fact that he keeps showing up, and he says as much in that same episode we were talking about. He says, I'm seeing him, and why do, so there's something that he's driven and compelled to do that I don't even know. And I think we do this in real life where we don't know what the gifts might be from our actions, but we feel compelled to do them, and then we reap whatever that gift is. But I think, I think it's all combined. His love for the kids at the orphanage, you could argue is a way to care for himself. Vash, the way, Millie's dynamic, so it's all in there. It's all in the soil of it, which is why we're here talking about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I wish I could ask one more question for you, Alexis, because I know we're out of time, but if
I'm sorry I went on so long.
No worries. I mean, is it quick? I can give you a quick answer.
It's quick.
Okay.
How do you think Millie's unwavering optimism acts as the anchors for Meryl's trauma?
Oh, something that I love about Millie so much, in addition to what you just said, is that she meets people where they're at. She never really asks questions. She never tries to see, why should I be this way to you? I feel that she doesn't ever think about that. She just meets people where they are. And so I think with Meryl, she is automatically a safe place. Just like everybody in this group. She is a safe place for everybody because she accepts them as they are in that moment.
That's awesome.
And so I think that's taking love, hope, and optimism to a very personal place, which everybody around her can benefit from, regardless of circumstance. So I guess that'd be my answer.
Yeah, that's amazing. And an action place too.
Yes, that is the best answer to end the conversation off of.
I'm so glad you asked that. That was a great question.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.